What's more enchanting than a story filled with witches, spells, and magical worlds? Whether you're into dark curses, forbidden romances, or just want a cozy spellcasting afternoon, I've got the perfect witchy reads to get you through the season. So hello my fellow fantasy book lovers and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi and welcome. My name is Kathy and I'm a fantasy book lover from Belgium. And before I completely ruin my gorgeous self-made witch's head, I'm gonna put it in the background and then we're gonna get into some perfect witchy fall read. So for today's video, I made a small list of books that have witches, warlocks, and all things spellcasting. So if you're ready for some magical recommendations, let's get started. The first book is actually a romantasy witchy series. It is the Glimmer Falls series by Sarah Hawley, and it perfectly combines a magical world building and atmosphere with some romantasy. Book 1 is a witch's guide to fake dating a demon, and the witch at the beginning of the book accidentally summons a demon instead of a bag of flour, hence going into some sort of demonic contract with him, and they try to resolve. In book 2 we follow two other main characters. It is called A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, and the witch from book 2 is the best friend of the witch from book 1, and the demon from book 2 is also somehow related to the demon from book 1. And then finally, the third book is called A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. And the werewolf in question is actually the boss, the owner of the plant shop that the witch from book 1 works at. And after a drunk evening, he actually goes onto eBay and buys a magical gem that contains a vampire succubus. If you're looking for a read that's packed with enchanting magic, whimsical world building, and a touch of sizzling romance, this should be your next pick. And also feel free to let me know in the comments, are you like me, a sucker for some good romantasy, or do you prefer more epic fantasy books? Now, if you're into more cozy reads, I also have a perfect suggestion for you. It is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. I mean, the title alone gives you cozy vibes, right? In this book, we follow a pair of unlikely heroes. One is a former soldier of the Queen's Guard, and the other one is the most powerful magician in the realm. They actually decide to open a tea shop together, but this book is about more than cozy vibes and tea. They find themselves wrapped up into a rebellion with a dash of magic in the mix. So if you love fantasy but you want something light and feel good, this book is like a warm hug in book form. Next up, let's take a turn into something more dark and intense with Silver in the Bone and the Mirror of Beasts by Alexandra Bracken. This duology brings us into an urban fantasy world filled with dangerous magic, mystery, and a bit of treasure hunting. In this book we follow Tamsin and her brother as they're on the search for a very specific relic to uncover the secrets of their past and break their curse. There are witches, curses, and enough twists to keep you on the edge of your seat. I personally really enjoyed the Arthurian myths coming back into this book, and honestly, even if it's a YA series, it is worth the read. This book actually kept me up late at night wanting to know what happened next. It's the kind of book that sucks you in and doesn't let go. And book 2 gets even better. For those of you who love your fantasy with a touch of dark magic, there is of course the Foxglove King and the Hemlock Queen by Hannah Whitten. These books are all about magic with deadly consequences. And if you like morally grey characters, you're gonna eat this one up. The story follows Lore, a girl who's been living on the run and hiding her forbidden magic. Necromancy. She ends up getting dragged into a conspiracy that threatens the entire kingdom. This book is full of political intrigue, rich world building, and complex characters. Perfect for those of you who like their witches with a little darkness and complexity. Plus, the magic system is detailed and immersive, so you really feel like you're stepping into this dangerous world. I would recommend this series for fans of darker, epic fantasies, especially if you enjoy dark magic that comes with a price. Up next is a YA fantasy book. It's called The Witch and the Vampire by Francesca Flores. So this book is perfect if you love witches but also have a soft spot for vampire lore. In a world where witches and vampires are at war, we follow Ava, who has been locked up by her mother in her house because she is a witch with both vampire and witch's powers. She has to navigate both sides of her identity while trying to escape from isolation. There's a beautiful romance happening in this book, and it is fast-paced, so it keeps you hooked every turn, and I feel this is perfect if you love YA fantasy. If you want a book that's packed with action, magic, and a forbidden romance, then this one is for you. And then of course we can't talk about fantasy without mentioning some epic magic. And that brings us to the Dragons of Deceit series by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, part of the D&D based Dragonlance universe. It's full of high-stakes magic, battles, and of course, dragons. While not strictly a witchy book, it's brimming with powerful wizards and epic scale magic. If you love world building on a grand scale, deep lore, and unforgettable magical characters, this one is a must-read. In Dragons of Deceit, we follow Destina, who's a girl who's living together with her father and mother in her castle, while her father goes out to battle. During this battle, he dies, and following that event, everything in Destina's life goes wrong. She decides to go to a mage who will help her travel back in time to save her father, but nothing goes to plan. I found this series beautiful, endearing, the world building was amazing, and bonus points if you're a D&D player, you will love this even more. But of course, you don't have to know anything about D&D in order to enjoy this book. So these are my top picks for witchy and magical reads that will have you spellbound this fall season. Whether you're into cozy tea shop fantasies, dark necromancy, or epic wizard battles, I hope there's something in this list that sparks your interest. Feel free to let me know in a comment down below which of these books are you most excited to pick up, or which one have you already read. I will of course be listing all of the books mentioned in the description box of this video. Don't forget to like this video if you want more witchy book recommendations in the future, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future magical content. Until next time, happy reading, and may your next book be full of magic.